Welcome to Phase 4, the renovation and additions to the church, the heart of the St. Mark's community. I want to take you on a little tour so you understand what's going to be happening here over the next 8 or 9 months of construction. So we're coming in here past the church and school offices. And you'll notice along here there's a orange line. We're outside the narthex, or the entry to the church. It will be expanded all the way out to this orange line, which comes over here to the Isidore's garden. So you can see this area right here that is adding on to our existing narthex. So here we are in the existing narthex, which will of course be redone and connected to the addition to the west. The ceiling is going to be raised a bit, and entrances into the church, into the nave itself, will be changed so that there will be more doors. There's going to be a couple of large doors here, and then as we come over toward the chapel, this wall will be gone, and there will be doors here, so that there will be about 5 points of entry into the church from the narthex in this area. So follow me into what was the old chapel. If you remember, the altar was up here, the original altar, and then if you across this is the back wall. This wall is going to be gone and become part of the entry from the new narthex. And in this particular space is where a permanent baptistery is going to be created. So there will be a large baptismal font kind of in the middle of this room. These are old pews that are being taken away. And the baptismal font will have moving water. It'll be large enough of a basin to actually put a baby into the basin if we wanted to ever do that, although I'm not thinking that we're going to do that very often. And the old original altar from the church will be sitting over in front of the windows looking out into the Isidore's garden and the columbarium. So we're able to connect our baptismal new birth with our resurrection at our death, connected together in a very helpful manner. The windows that are always divided the chapel from the bigger nave are going to remain open permanently. So this space will be always connected to the nave itself. So you'll be able to come in church in the morning and walk past the baptismal font and walk into the nave to your pew. So come on in. Coming through the doorway as we go through the old chapel back to what was the sacristy, the vesting rooms for the clergy and all the assistants and the acolytes, is this way. So come on through this door. And you can already see a tremendous change that's taken place. The sacristy, as we know it, is gone. The little bathroom in here is gone. The vesting rooms are gone. And this is going to become a set of bathrooms that will be also accessible to you on Sunday mornings. But even more importantly, they will become the bathrooms that will service the Peace Chapel when there are services and events that are going on in the Peace Chapel. So we no longer have to go into the church offices to use the bathrooms when we're in the Peace Chapel. There will also be a room in this piece for brides, kind of a preparation room that'll provide some flexibility for weddings and even for funerals that we do in the church. As you can see, the pews are gone, and we are going to be replacing all of the pews with new pews that will also be, cushioned and have a new kind of fabric on. One of the things we're able to do is have all of the stain in the church match. If you remember, in the old church, there were probably 5 different colors of wood stains. We're going to be matching all those correctly. The configuration of the pews has yet to be decided. They might be exactly like they were, but we may try to make some improvements on the way the pews are laid out. The organ is boxed over here for protection, but the music area and the choir will remain over in that part of the church. And then as you walk up, the chancel area, the chancel is that area of the church that's kind of inside the communion rails, is remaining, basically the same. The communion rail is going to go along as it always has, but instead of making these awkward kind of 90-degree angles, it's going to be straighter across, so that the backup of getting people to the communion rail will be solved, because we're not waiting to go around to these edges. So we think that's going to help the flow of communion a bit. The carpets are going to be gone. This will all be a tile up here, and behind what will be a new altar made of wood and stone, a pulpit made of wood and stone, incorporating the wood from the old altar into the new altar. Behind here, this wall will be a kind of a Jerusalem stone that'll look similar to the stone altar in the Peace Chapel. It will go up about as high as this, maybe a bit higher, all the way around here. That allows us to create a little more warmth, and also ties in the mosaic in the cross that we also love, that always is behind the altar. The other changes include, of course, a completely new lighting, sound system. There will be a projection system. The lighting will be much more dramatic up here at the altar, so we'll be able to play off the stone, and we'll have specific lights over the altar, so that worship services, especially at night, the evenings will be, I think, much more dramatic and effective. The floor itself, I can't tell you right now whether the Chattahoochee floors are remaining or not. They might be here, they might not, we don't know. Most likely we're planning that they are going to be here, but the carpets will be all gone, and there'll be tile down the aisles and up around the chancel in the sanctuary area of our worship. Along the wall here on the east end of the nave, we are going to add a door right here that will lead into a new sacristy, which is kind of the kitchen for the church where the altar guild does its work. There'll be a specific area for our flower guild to prepare the flowers, and there will be new vesting areas for the clergy, the choir, the acolytes, that will all be built in the new building to the east, with a door right here leading up, so it's much easier for the altar guild to prepare for our worship. There'll be a new entrance also built. Back in this corner, which was always a storage closet, there will be a double door that leads into a building that will also have a nursery immediately to the left for children and babies, the bathroom, and just really well done nursery. And then a complete set of bathrooms that will service the church without having to always go outside to get to a bathroom. And then on the other side of the hallway from those bathrooms will be another large community room, a gathering space that will hold up to 150 people at one time, but also be subdivided similar to Coleman Hall, so that smaller groups can meet at the same time. That hall will be the space where we are going to be placing all of the community groups, the AA groups, the scouting troops, who meet at St. Mark's will be able to be using that facility, which will also be more flexible in terms of security. So we're excited about that. Along this back window, looking out onto the courtyard, we're going to eventually stain glass with a beautiful scene from Jesus feeding the 5,000. And that will be built over time. We'll slowly raise funds as you and I seek to give in memory or thanksgiving for blessings. The panels will be sold separately. And the windows will also all be made hurricane, as will be the windows that face out into the columbarium. So all the windows at St. Mark's will be hurricane proof, which is really, really great news. Follow me. So I hope you enjoyed this tour of the church and the renovations that are taking place. And we'll keep it posted. And as things progress, we'll update you here in the next few months to show you where we are in the renovation. In the meantime, keep us in your prayers. Have faith that what is to come will be, at least as good, not better than where we've been. And we're so grateful for your ongoing support of the mission and ministries at St. Mark's. Hope this place shines the beacon of faith, hope, and light for many, many, many years to come. See you Sunday.